Hello, my name is Alexander Rosso and I want to welcome to my next episode of Arc for Dummies. In this episode I'm going to be handling the farm. This is going to be your first simple farm. I say first simple farm because I will update this video later on to turning it into a greenhouse, but I want to tackle a more simple farm to begin with, as I'm sort of aiming this video around level 32. I say 32 because that's when you unlock the toilet. And the toilet is a key part to the farm. You may be asking, like, why are you teaching me a farm now? Can you not teach me about taming medium dinosaurs like the Triceratops? I want that for my berry gathering, for example. Now, the reason I'm teaching you the farm first is I like to, from my years of playing Ark, I found doing things in this order particularly useful. Now, getting your farm allows you to grow crops, so you can use these for taming your herbivores like the Triceratops instead of having to rely on megaberries, because herbivores tame quite slowly, but you can speed that up if you feed them vegetables. Vegetables are one of their favorite foods next to kibble. So if we can grow these early on, then that's going to make your taming of a Triceratops even faster, and not just Triceratops, all of your herbivores that you want to tame. And I'm going to do a list later on of a lot of the sort of dinosaurs you want to tame first, and quite a lot of them are herbivores. Okay, so let's get started into this simple farm. Now, part of doing a farm is bringing water from your water source, i.e. this lake for me, to your farm, which I'm going to be building not too far from where that Dilophosaurus. But I also want to run some irrigation to my base, so I've got a tap in my base and a toilet. As I said before, a toilet is very important. Now, quite often when people do irrigation, they start off at the water and work their way towards what they want to irrigate. I find this bad practice because you could end up with like a toilet halfway in the air, or it's just not being quite square of your base. So I like to start at the end, and the end in this case is going to be the toilet. So it's because it's going to go toilet, farm, water source. So although I said toilets last, you need a pipe to place the toilet, so we're going to want to place our pipe. Now, I've got a method I like to use to make sure that when I place a pipe, it is square with the base, and that is by placing a ladder down. Now, if I climb on the ladder, because the ladder is snapped to my base, this ladder is square, it's forced my character square. I can move up and down, but I can't go side to side. So that means when I place my pipe is going to be straight. I then will press 7, which on my screen is giving me a horizontal pipe. Now, it's hard to see with the stone. You could just about see that green flicker of the pipe. So I'm going to sort of place that about, I think, here. Now, I'm going to do this. You may find this will help you as well. I'm going to actually destroy... right. I'm going to get rid of that Dilophosaur because he's just going to cause some problems. There we go. You may find it easier to destroy some of your foundations temporarily to help you see your pipe. Now I can just about see the tip there, so that's good enough for me. Now, you see how that is level with the floor? That means my toilet is also going to be level with the floor, nice and neat to the floor, which is exactly what I want. Now, I then, if I place, hopefully this pipe will, yep, see how the pipe goes from green to disappeared? That means it's snapped to something, which should be my pipe. If I press another one, there we go, you can see it's coming out now. That's exactly what I want. So with that snap there, I wonder if I can, yeah, see I've got a nice vertical pipe here. That's right on the wall. That's really neat actually. By doing that, I can now get myself a tap, which I've crafted here. All these things you'll find under the subfolder called pipes. It won't be under stone, but the subfolder will have stone pipes as part of it. So now I've got a tap right against my wall, and I've got a toilet nice and neat to the floor. I'll see if I've got any foundations. I have. That's good. Now I can replace that foundation. So I can sit on this toilet, and it is nice and neat. So you say you start at the end and work your way to the water source. So now I've got this pipe sticking out of the wall here. Get rid of that so I can see. Right, so that's my snap location. Now I can take it like that right away across, but I've obviously got this pipe sticking out here. It can be destroyed quite easily, but something I like to do, it does make it can be a little bit more complicated, but that is to use a angled pipe taking it down. See, now it's underground, and if I get my horizontal pipes, you'll notice you can't see it on the floor. So you can see it now, and as soon as it disappears, that means it's snapped to the other pipe that I've placed. So keep doing this all the way. There we go, it's sticking out of the ground again. So, I mean, I could either carry on where it's sticking out of the ground, I could place something on top of it, or I can take another slope going down. I'm actually going to keep it where it is, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and place my foundations on top of that, so it will hide it there. But meanwhile, I'm going to keep placing my straights like this, and it's sticking out. It's sticking quite far above now, so now I'm going to go down again, and I'm going to go across some more. If at any point you're worried about, like, am I, like, if I got this right, you can just place a vertical to help you get your bearings of where your pipe is. Because sometimes you can get lost, because you think you're going straight, but actually you're not. There we go. And you say you want to keep doing this all the way to your water source. Just want to make sure that that is actually the one, because I'm... Yeah, see. Oh, see, it's over there. See, I thought I was going straight, but it turns out I wasn't quite. So there it is, sticking out of the ground, but that should be alright. In fact, that may possibly be close enough. Let's see. This is your intake one. See this one with the bend? That is the very last one. That needs to be going into the water. That is just below water level, so the water is there. And if I place that, the pipe has turned blue. It being blue means the water is running through it. So it should be running all the way through, up into the base, and if I go inside, you'll see there is water coming out of this tap just to the sides of it, but that is good enough. Now if I look up to it, I can now press E to drink the water. Possibly a little bit too high. I could, if I get an angled one, I may be able to sort of put an angled one in to get a height I prefer. That's really up to you how fussy you're going to be. But more importantly, this toilet is now irrigated. Now if you look at my bottom right corner, you'll see the food marker, like the meat thing, and that's white where everything else is blue. If that is white, that means I need to poo. So if I sit on the toilet and if I press plus on PC, I'll defecate. After you defecate, it says you feel refreshed and you get a little buff, which means you're leveling, you get more XP. It's not particularly long timer, but it's something. When you flush the toilet, you'll see that 2 fertilizer was added. Now an interesting thing about this, which is why I like to use the toilet with farming, I still need to poo. So when you use the toilet, this is something I noticed after they added the extinction map. I think it may be broken, so this may be addressed later on, I don't know. But while it's working, I'm going to take advantage of it. You can continually poo as much as you want and get an infinite amount of fertilizer. And it's actually surprising how many people still don't know about this, which makes farming even more viable, because you need this fertilizer for your crops. If your crops don't have fertilizer, they won't grow. So by doing this, you can rack up a lot. I tend to sort of just do a quick, maybe 10-20 minute session of just sitting on the toilet, going toilet to get as much fertilizer as I can, and that way I can fill all my crops up to the maximum. So we're irrigated, but we still don't have a farm, and as I said, I want to build it roughly here. Now I could just lay down my foundations right here, but something I like to do to make sure my foundations are nice and neat is I like to line them up with the base, and I've got a little tip to make sure you do that perfectly. And that is, if you, we'll do it out of wood, so because it's cheaper. Get yourself some pillars. Here they are. Put them on my hotbar. Now if you get your pillar right up to your base, see how that snapped? And you just keep snapping it to your pillars until you're at roughly the place where you want to start building. There you go, I'm right on this pipe, that's where I wanted to start. Now I can pick up or demolish these, because I no longer need these. But by doing that, I know it's perfectly square with the base. So especially when you're sort of coming in at a bird's eye view, it's really nice to sort of fly above and see everything that you've built all even with each other. Your incubation room, your breeding pen, your farm, everything's all nice and square, especially if you end up building a nice perimeter wall with this same method. I will be doing a video on how I do that. I should not have deleted that pillar. Oh, how annoying. So we'll start again. How irritating. That should be good enough. Right, so then you can get your foundation, and doesn't want to snap. We'll try if I put another pillar down. Oh, why aren't you snapping? Oh, there you go, snapping to the side. But that's good enough. So that's snapped, which means that is now going to be square with my base, that foundation. So now I can get rid of these pillars. Like so. And I've got this foundation that's square. Now from this I can build my farm foundations. Ooh. I prefer first person. So okay, now you'll see that I can't actually build my foundations here, so a little get around you can do for this sort of thing is ceilings and some pillars to match. I'm going to use stone so it matches, and out of there, looking for my stone ceilings. So you get your ceilings and you can place these instead. And if you want to carry on like building with ceilings further out, if you get your pillar and snap it so it goes just on the bottom like that, that'll work. And that's how you can support it. Now, helps if I click the actual pillar. So, so these two ceilings are now supported by that pillar, but I have got these hideous little nubs sticking out, And you can neaten that up again by getting, if you get your ceilings again, and that way you can put these on like that. So now it's actually even. Take this all across. And I mean, yeah, okay, you got this hideous little gap. If you really want to hide that, you can use, if I've got any, nope, some walls. Oh, there we go, 0. And you can put walls in to hide that gap if you're really that sort of fussy and you don't want it showing. It's exactly what I would do. And you can also wall down to the floor if you've got the collision turned off. If your collision turned on, then you may not be able to do that. But so that sort of neatens it all up. So now I've got my platform. I know it's irrigated underneath, so I want to get my vertical pipe, stick it up. I would like it a little bit higher than that, so I'll do another vertical pipe. Now if I get my cross pipe, put them in like so, I've got this over the head pipework that's also irrigated. Now if I get my taps and add these to the ends like that, I've now got a sprinkler system. So I'm sure you understand why I want that. Right, from now on I need some crop plots, which, so I haven't got any on me. So you'll find them if you go into structures and under farming. Now you want the medium ones for now, but later on you'll want to upgrade to the large. But if you're level 32, you won't be able to craft these just yet. So once you've got these, you place these, and I like to try and place them quite central. You could do the ladder method if you want, depends on how fussy you're being, but I think I can get these roughly. Ooh. Let's, there we go. Oh, there we go. I reckon I can get these quite square. So I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to put some over here as well. Now there are some videos out there showing you how to stack crop plots on top of each other. I don't like doing this method because I like to try and balance functionality and aesthetic, and I don't think it's aesthetically pleasing to do so, so I won't be doing that. So now I've got my crop plots, they're irrigated. I want to put some seeds in here. So if I hold down and go to inventory, you'll see I've got some seeds. Here's some citronal. This will grow some form of lemons. And this one, I'm pretty sure I've got more seeds on me. I should have emptied my inventory a bit more than this. Oh, I swore I had saffroot on me. Okay, never mind. But so you should have like got yourself various seeds. They've got some arrowberry seeds there. Now the crops you grow are citronal, saffroot, rockaroot. Now you can't gather these from the bushes, you can only grow these. So if I deposit some fertilizer like I got earlier into there, you'll notice in a second, there we go, you can see some growth happening. It's got some seedlings. Now depending on your server settings, depends on how fast these grow. If when you build like glass around it, it will grow faster, and I'll be addressing that in a later build. So yeah, we've got them growing. Another crop that you want to make sure you grow, it's very important, is your narca berries, because these are what make your narcotics, and you're going to be using these a lot. Now there we go, and I'll fertilize these. There you go. You'll see there you've got water 400 of 400 irrigated, and you see a fertilizing step, and you see it's seedling. It has various states of growth before it actually provides you with the crops you need. Drop some fertilizer in that one because it didn't have any, and this should grow soon. You see there it says deposit human feces, so you don't have to use fertilizer. You can use poo from either yourself or dinos. You can make fertilizer, say, using the toilet, but another way you can make fertilizer is with these things, compost bins. Now if you were to put in here poo, like mine, and some thatch, that will turn into fertilizer over time. It does take a long time though, so don't think you're going to get fertilizer really quickly. Have I got any on me? Nope. Okay, I'm going to build myself a quick ramp to get into my greenhouse. Well, not my greenhouse, my farm. So now I can get up here quite easily. You may want to try and protect it just so something doesn't come along and accidentally damage it. Also discourage other players from just waltzing in easily and bad snap point and destroying your crops and taking your crops. Granted, there's not much you can really do to protect them a lot at this stage, but just making it a little bit more difficult may discourage, because crops aren't exactly a hugely sought after resource because they are quite easy to get. So just doing this hopefully will be enough. There you go, and a quick door. So there you go. You have your farm. It's lovely irrigated, and we've hidden your pipes. All except this one. I mean, but you could put down a foundation on top of that if you really wanted to make it so people can't get to it so easily, because pipes are quite easy to destroy. So protecting them as best you can will help a lot. This one here is exposed, so you may choose to cover this one up as well. That is up to you. There you have it. That is your farm. That is going to help you get your vegetables, which is what you're going to want to get your tames. So in the next video I'm going to show you how to make a medium taming trap, and I'm going to help you get your first triceratops, your first medium sized tame. So I'm going to show you how to make your trap, and we're going to put these vegetables that I'm growing right now to good use. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything else you would like to see, anything you think I've missed, please let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Please keep in tune for other videos. I have another series which I'm starting, which is building tutorials. I already hinted to a taming raft build I've done on this thing, but I will be putting other builds on there as well in time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, goodbye.